welcome to my journey. Today we're going to talk about my post-op nutritionist visit. I just got home from it. Got my paper, got my little scribbly notes, but I hadn't gone over it again. I'm going to go over it again with you and try to remember some of the stuff she said. It's like she'll add little things that aren't on the paper. The papers are very thorough. And then I'll try to remember what she said, and if I don't scribble those notes, you can forget it. So the first page is like your pre-op, some of the pre-op, not pre-op, oh my gosh, phase 1, the liquids that I'm in now. I'll get there. I am in the liquid phase, which lasts 2 days. 2 weeks. She told me my start date for pureed and soft foods, which is phase 2, starts on the 18th. But somebody asked for the question. She said, does it really matter? Does 2 or 3 days matter? She misunderstood the question. She goes, no, it's the weekend, and I'm supposed to start my pureed foods Monday. Does a couple days really matter? And she said, if you're tolerating everything you're doing now, no nausea, no vomiting, you're tolerating all your fluids, your protein drinks and everything, she said, no, 2 or 3 days doesn't matter. So yours truly might be starting 2 or 3 days early, because I have tolerated every single, knock on wood, every single thing that I have eaten, drank, I have tolerated. I've not had any issues whatsoever with any of it. I just can't believe how good I'm doing. That's why I want to knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it and come to where there's like more body to the food and then start having problems. I'm having such an easy time getting my fluids down that I feel like I'm going to overeat when it's time to eat. And they tell you you're not, because your little stomach's going to hold so much. I'll tell you here in a minute what it's going to hold. And if you have more than that, you're going to have dumping syndrome, and then you're going to go like miserable, So I'm anxious to see how I tolerate food, even if it is just pureed or soft. I'm anxious about that. So the pureed and soft food is phase 2. You can start it on week 3, which will be after my 2 weeks of liquids, up to 2 ounces, which is a quarter cup, is your portion size at a time. And your goal is to drink 64 ounces of fluid and 70 grams of protein a day. Now, let's get up to the clear liquids. We'll skip that. It's just in here for information, I guess, if you're still on it. Now, phase 2, the pureed, is pureed and soft. She says she suggests starting with pureed for a week, week and a half, and then go to soft. She said, believe it or not, there's a difference. So there's no fruit, no fruit on in either of those. Now, that phase will last 2 or more weeks. Depends on how you're tolerating your food. You can start the phase 3 of regular foods at week 5 or later. Depends on how you tolerate the pureed and the soft foods. Now, this is the part. All foods in the pureed phase should be, and I circled this so I would not miss it, the texture of stage 1 or 2 baby food. I should have got a jar at the grocery store a while ago. I was at the grocery store. I'm going to tell you what. When you can't have food, go to the grocery store. Cook supper for your husband. Whew. You will test your mettle. I'm going to tell you what. Yes, you will. Right as you go in, they got all the fall displays with the pumpkin rolls and the cream horns and all. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, I should have got a jar of baby food to see what the texture. I know what stage 1 is, like something you could probably pour. And then avoid these gastric irritants, pepper, caffeine, hot sauce, and chili powder, which I don't have a problem with any of those. I'm on decaf coffee. I've got a note here somewhere where they tell you can go back to caffeine. So we have a list here of some foods that they suggest, and it is protein first. We'll get to that in a minute too. Protein first. She said if you don't, when we get up to the part where you can have the vegetables with it, which is this part, if you eat your vegetables first, your stomach's going to fill up and then you're going to miss your protein. So you always want to eat your protein first. No potatoes. No potatoes. That means no good old mashed taters that I was looking forward to. None of those. No seeds. No vegetables. Because we have fruit. No vegetables with seeds. So like if you did squash and you want to puree some squash, make sure you don't have the seeds in it. So cottage cheese, 1 to 2 ounces. You even have to puree that. She said, believe it or not, it makes a difference. So you have to puree your cottage cheese. You have smooth Greek or Icelandic yogurt, nothing with fruit in it, no sugar. Baby food meat, stage 1 or 2. No. Canned tuna, salmon, ham, chicken thighs, which she said are softer than breasts, is why they recommend the thighs and the legs, and puree those with mayo. A scrambled egg, pureed, then reheated. 1 to 2 tablespoons of shredded cheddar or mozzarella cheese or part skim ricotta cheese, melted, and then added to another pureed food. So if you wanted to add some cheese to your chicken, let's say, then you need to melt it and then add it and puree it, because she said it's too chunky if you puree it just in shredded form. For the vegetables, no corn or tomatoes. Tomatoes due to the... I'm getting a phone call. I'm not answering it. Pureed canned vegetables, 1 ounce. It says 1 ounce will puree. 1/4 cup of canned vegetable will puree to 1 ounce, which would equal 1/8 of a cup. So it's going to puree down to half of the size. Baby food vegetables, stage 1 or 2. Pureed pinto beans. I like this. Pureed pinto beans with a tablespoon of shredded melted cheddar cheese. I know people have talked about eating refried beans. I'm excited about being able to eat some pinto beans because, we love our beans in this house. She said if you can tolerate that, then you can add a little sour cream if you want to. Make sure you can tolerate the beans first. Now, it says fat should be included in your diet. This will help improve the taste of your food and help moisten the food as well. But be careful because they add calories. And there's that noise. They weigh heavy on your stomach, and that will fill you up and keep you from eating your protein. Now, it's got a little list here. I'm not going to go over it with you. How do I puree foods? It just tells you the best ways to puree cold meat, fish made into a spread. Well, I guess if you look at it like that, like a spread, instead of like, this is pureed fish, like a fish spread, which I ain't going to make a fish spread. I'll wait and eat fish on soft. We'll get to that too. If you think of it as a spread, like ham, make a ham spread, ham and mayonnaise, a nice spread. You're just eating it without whatever you're dipping it, without the crack or something. So I think I might can get on board with that. I still don't know about the chicken. There's just something about chicken. I'm not the biggest fan of chicken to begin with. So anyway, but the healthy oils that they say to use are olive oil, avocado, mayonnaise, coconut oil, or other vegetable oils. She also said we can have Chobani Complete protein drink. She said it doesn't have the proper formula. She said, but it is okay. The drinkable yogurt. So I'm going to be looking for some of those in next week's groceries. That is starting for the pureed foods. Then after you can tolerate that, your week and a half, and you can go to the soft foods. Soft textured foods are allowed during weeks 3 and 4 or when tolerated. Foods not allowed: hard foods, fried foods, dried or raw fruits, raw vegetables, nuts, seeds, popcorn, relish, olives, rice, pasta, breads, rolls, or biscuits. The reasoning behind, they don't want you to have all the carbs because protein first. The rice and pasta, she said, expands in your stomach. It takes up your stomach space. If you're having it with something, it's going to take up the space in your stomach. And then rolls, which I have read this before, they call it a bread bolus, B-O-L-U-S, or bread ball. When you chew that, instead of, you're supposed to chew your food to an almost liquid state. And that makes me just sick to think about it. You have to chew it 20, 30 times, whatever it takes to get that food to an almost liquid state before you swallow it. And bread tends to gum up, and you swallow it, and they say it can get stuck in your stomach, where the opening of your stomach. So I will avoid bread. She said when you get up later on, in your journey, if you have bread, toasted bread, she said, seems to work better. It seems to not clump like regular bread or biscuits and things like that. Now, we have to take small, dime-sized bites. Food should be almost liquid. Baby food stage 1 or 2 texture before you swallow. Dry or tough textures are harder to digest and may cause nausea or vomiting. So she also told us this. This is on the paper. Should vomiting occur, if you've got, and you're not tolerating it, switch to clear liquids the next meal for like a day in order to reset your stomach. She said that's what it will do. Then, how often do I eat? How much do I eat? What do I eat? Eat up to, and I circled that because she stressed up to. She didn't say you had to. Up to 4 ounces, which is a half a cup, of soft foods 3 times per day. You can eat 3 times, 6 times a day. That's okay. This will total 12 ounces or 1.5 cups of solid food daily. Stop eating before you feel satisfied or full. Try to eat your meals in this order. Protein first, then vegetables. This is what they want you to do. They want you to focus more on the feeling of full rather than the amount of food, rather than the measurement, rather than the serving size, where it says eat your serving size over here, 1 to 2 ounces of pureed cottage cheese. Don't think you have to eat the full 1 to 2 ounces. If you feel full with 1, don't go on to 2 because you think you have to eat it. She said they get calls all the time of people saying, I can't eat 4 ounces of food. I can't do it. What am I supposed to do? I'm doing it wrong. And she's like, no, up to 4 ounces. You can have 4 ounces. It's up to the individual person. So this says, your brain and stomach take time to talk to each other. If your brain thinks you're full, you were actually full a few minutes or bites ago. So that's why they say stop eating before you get full. And some of the signs, I know it, I got it over here somewhere. Some of the signs that we will have that tells us we're full, I'll tell you what those are when I get to them. Tips for eating. Eat at least 10 minutes to half of your meal, 2 ounces. Take at least 10 minutes to eat half of your meal, 2 ounces. Wait 10 minutes. Take at least 10 minutes to eat the second 2 ounces if you're still hungry. Start this one. Introduce each new soft food by eating 1 bite. Chew it thoroughly until liquid. Swallowing and then wait 2 to 5 minutes. If tolerated, take another bite. Chew well, then swallow and repeat. If you don't tolerate a particular food at first, try to reintroduce it in the next few weeks. This diet has no concentrated sweets, no simple sugars. As a rule, keep sugar out of the first 3 ingredients on the food label. And she said that are sugar cousins too. Honey, molasses, high fructose corn syrup, all those things. Focus on your food. Eat with no distractions. Don't watch TV. Don't play on your phone. She said one of the girls that works in the Charlotte office, she had the procedure done. So she had an 8-ounce container of yogurt. She was just going to eat her like 2 ounces and put the rest away. Well, she said she got busy watching TV, and before you knew it, she ate the whole 8 ounces and says she spent 2 hours in pure misery. So she said, I suggest you portion out your food so that you don't get distracted and eat more than you think you can. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to portion out my yogurts and things like that. No fluids for 30 minutes before eating solid foods and no liquids 30 minutes after eating solid foods. Phase 2 is still the soft. This is the soft foods. That was the soft foods. We're still talking about that. This is still no fruit on the soft. No fruit on pureed, no fruit on soft. This gives you some ideas of things that you can eat on soft foods. Fish, beef, poultry, or pork, ground meats are often tolerated better. So fish like cod or tilapia, things that are softer fishes. The ground meats, she said, if you cook them in water, and I know there's that one chili I have that you cook it in the liquid and it falls apart and it's just a fine, fine, fine ground consistency. She said you often tolerate that a lot better. She said, and shrimp is not on this list, but you can have shrimp, just cut it up really small. So I like that. Cottage cheese, ricotta cheese, you don't have to puree it now. Artificially sweetened plain or Greek yogurt, canned tuna, chicken, ham, salmon, all moistened with mayo. Thighs and legs. She said, if you make them in the crock pot or the Instant Pot, they come out really, really tender. She said, at this point, no air frying and no grilling because it makes it too tough. Scrambled egg, poached, over easy, soft, or hard boiled. Just no fried. Shredded cheese. Natural lunch meat, like roasted turkey, chicken. She said you can have ham. Canned cooked soup with beans or lentils, but you drain the broth and wait 30 minutes and then drink the broth if you want it. The broth will fill up your stomach and then you won't get the benefit of the beans, which beans are high in carbohydrates, but like she said, they're high in fiber and protein too, so they're good for you. No sugar added pudding made with skim milk. You could add protein powder to boost protein. That's a good idea. I can add my my unflavored. She also said, this is a game changer. She said a lot of people are excited to know that Wendy's chili is on the soft food list because it's not too spicy and it's pretty fine the way it's made. I guess the texture of it or something. But anyway, Wendy's chili, yes. The well-cooked, non-starchy vegetables. And here is any vegetable. Back here, I didn't mention it. No broccolis, nothing like that. Just your soft vegetables. Tomato sauce. This is where you could have, there's a mini ricotta bake that's very popular in the bariatric community, I guess you could say. I haven't found a recipe for it. There's lots of different recipes, but it has like tomato sauce or spaghetti sauce. You can put that on it. Vegetable juice, vegetable soup. Drain the broth. Drink 30 minutes after eating. There again, if you want the vegetable soup with the broth, eat the soup, tolerate it, and then 30 minutes later, you can have the broth. Same oils. But also, she said, don't forget the G. Hughes sauces. Use those as mix-ins. So let's say I'm doing chicken. This does not have to be pureed. It just has to be soft. I can mix it in with some of the G. Hughes different sauces. Somebody posted the clucking sauce, something like that. She said it was delicious. So I'm gonna look for that too. So any of the sugar-free sauces are okay on this diet. Tolerance issues. Food can feel like it gets stuck in your chest. Move around and it will pass. She said, get up and walk. Hold your arms behind your head. She said, and it will pass. The things that would cause this: eating too quickly, taking bites that are too big, not chewing enough. Some foods may still be too tough. Fullness can feel like nausea or pressure in your chest or nose running, belching, and sneezing. Food is too dry. Try to eat at least 3 times a day, more if you feel hungry. Remember to follow the 30-30 rule. No fluids 30 minutes before, 30 minutes during, and 30 minutes after you eat. Phase 3. Week 5 or later. Regular food. You still have a goal of 64 ounces of fluid and 70 grams of protein per day. The second month after surgery, or when tolerating, that is when you can start regular food. Continue to avoid concentrated sweets, simple sugars, and you still have to do the same chewing. This is forever. You still have to chew it. I saw one girl in the Facebook group, she put like hashtag chew until dust. like, oh, that sounds about right. And then here, eat up to 6 ounces, 3/4 cup of regular food 3 times per day. So see, you work your way up. Stop eating when you feel satisfied and full. Same thing. Eat your protein first and vegetables. For optimum weight loss, try to keep your daily calorie intake between 1,000 and 1,300. Let's see. Like, she was talking about if you eat like something that's a mixture of foods, try not to eat that until you've tried each individual food that's in it and make sure you can tolerate it before you eat. Like, say there's a casserole with beef and I don't know, whatever. I'm not supposed to have pasta. I don't know, whatever else is supposed to be in it. Make sure everything that is in there I'm able to tolerate before I actually eat that casserole. The protein, she said you can use your Pampered Chef chopper. I have one of those to chop it up to make it smaller, to make it easier to eat. So here is just a list that gives you of things to eat: fish, beef, chicken, turkey, pork, egg, cheese, cottage cheese, milk, your plain or no sugar added Greek yogurt, nuts, soy nuts, lentils, pinto beans, limas, black beans, tofu. It says can eat whatever you want, as long as you tolerate it, but always protein first. And then here is my little note. I made sure to write down caffeine 2 to 3 months post-op. Here's the starch. These are the things you are to avoid, and this is because they're just too starchy. High in carbohydrates. They keep you from getting, it says, the nutrients that you need if you eat all that first. I'm guessing you can eat some on the side. They really want you to eat your vegetables, but I wouldn't think you have to avoid carbs your whole entire life. Just don't make that the focus of your meal. Like beans, which pinto beans and whatnot, she said are good, but this list is talking about what is high in carbohydrates. Bread, corn, cereal, grits, oatmeal, pasta, quinoa, potatoes, sweet potatoes, peas, pasta, tortillas, rice. These things I'm thinking will come months out post-op, not this close, 5 weeks, probably months out. Then you can probably start reintroducing those. There'll be another 2-month post-op nutritionist visit, which I made my appointment today. So then we'll talk about where we're at from that point forward. Okay, fruits, your fats, might be coming to the end. Oh, and I asked her about chewing gum. She said, yes, you can chew gum. Just make sure you're not chewing it and avoiding drinking. Sometimes you chew your gum and then you're not drinking your liquids, which makes sense because a lot of time I get the dry mouth and I'll chew the gum when if I had the liquids in the car with me or something, I wouldn't have to chew the gum. I could just drink. That is, we already did protein supplements. Some of these are the same papers. Oh, okay. Here is traveling and restaurants. Take a cooler with you in your car or for your overnight stays. Request a refrigerator in your hotel room. When you get to your destination, grocery stop and stock up on high protein, low sugar, and low fat foods. If you're flying, as you make your reservation, request a low fat, sugar free meal. Remember to take a container of sugar free beverage to drink throughout the day. Thermal lunch bags work great. And if you're traveling a long distance in your car, take a break at a park or in a small town to walk 20 or 30 minutes, then resume your trip. That is part of this now. They don't want you to be in the car more than 30 minutes. If you do, you have to get out and walk because they want you to prevent blood clots. Restaurants. Choose restaurants with a Heart Smart or low-calorie menu. Avoid all-you-can-eat restaurants or ask if they have a pay by the pound or ounce option. That's something I know they have at Golden Corral. We like to go there, which there's a lot of foods that I like there that are fried, which I know if David wanted to go, I would be able to find something to eat. I know that. And they do sell it by the pound because people come in and get their plates and take them to go. So I was worried about, well, I'm not going to go and pay that kind of money to eat this much food. So I didn't think about that option until it was on this paper. Share a meal. Avoid alcoholic beverages because I think I told you before, the part that takes care of the alcohol is not in our new stomach, and you can get tipsy really, really fast. So avoid it. Um, Skip the bread and the tortilla chips. Try ordering 2 side dishes or an appetizer rather than an entree. Eat slowly, take extras home, and use your apps for tracking. Dumping syndrome, we talked about that. And let's see what's on my last page. She was the one instead of the nurse. I knew somebody told it. This is talking about how to minimize weight loss plateaus. This could help somebody that's not even on a weight loss, had weight loss surgery. But she said again, if you had a big pre-op weight loss during your 2 weeks, she said, you may already be in your plateau when you have your surgery. So I lost 29 pounds in 2 weeks. And I lost 3 pounds my first week, which I'm still swollen. All that takes into consideration. But I could be on a plateau. She said it. I didn't say it. She said it. So, how to minimize weight loss plateaus? You will have times when you get on the scale and it doesn't move for a few days or even a few weeks. This is a period of time called a plateau. Weight loss after surgery is very individualized. Factors that influence the rate in which you lose weight are gender, age, exercise level, caloric intake, and the amount of excess weight you need to lose. That's true about whether you had surgery or not. That's true about any weight loss. We cannot scientifically explain why plateaus occur. It may be your body's response to the chemical and biological changes that occur in weight loss. However, even though you may not be losing weight during this period of time, your weight may be redistributing itself. Many people notice their clothes fitting more loosely, even though they have not lost any weight. You can lose inches and not lose weight. In expanding your exercise program, your weight loss may actually slow down temporarily. Please continue to incorporate strength and resistance training and cardiovascular exercise, as this will help you to continue to see weight loss results. I think that counts for anybody. Remember, progress is judged by more than just the weight on the scale. Measurements and monthly progress pictures are also good ways to assess change. They're just telling us to follow up with our dietitian and all that. And they give us some websites, some books, and some apps and Instagram. I thought this was cool. This little card. Now on the back, so I wouldn't give this card and let them keep it. On the back, it gives us your recommended multivitamins and all, which I know that, but medicines to avoid: ibuprofen, Motrin, NSAID, steroids, smoking, vaping, nicotine. And then it gives you what yearly labs you have. But this is, she said, if you go to a restaurant and they're really, really giving you a hard time about ordering something small or maybe ordering off the kids menu, she said you can give them this card. It says you can write your name on it if you want to. It's got patient's name. This is what it says. The above patient has had weight loss surgery that has reduced their stomach capacity to less than 4 ounces. We request that they be allowed to purchase a smaller portion, order from the children's menu, or share. So I thought that was pretty cool that they give you something like that to give to them. So that was my 2-week post-op nutritionist visit. I think that gives me all the information I need to come back to and look at when I make my menu plan, when I make my grocery list. I'll have what I need. So today's the 14th. So after today, 15, 16, 17, 18, 1, 2, 3, 4 more days. Might start early. We will see. I feel great. I may not. I don't know. It just depends. I'm ready to start now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with my liquid. I have been sticking with my liquid. I have been judiciously sticking with my liquids, and I'm very proud of myself for that. I did not think I could do it. It really tests your mettle. It really, really does. You can do things. I'm just going to get off topic just a second. You can do things that you don't think you can do. I didn't think I could do this. I knew I had to, and maybe that's why. Maybe I know that if I don't, I'm going to do something to my body that I shouldn't be doing. all along my journey, I had this resolve, and I would go all through these periods of time where I could really, really do it. And then something would happen. I would get discouraged, or I would gain weight when I should have gained weight. Sometimes I should have, but there's plenty of times when I should not have gained weight. It says on there, we don't really know why the body does what it does. There's changes that are going on during weight loss, and so it happens. Plateaus happen, ups and downs happen. But if you think you can't do something, I'm here to tell you you can. Because if I'm able to stick to this liquid diet when I am just all around food, think of something hard that you need to do and just know that you can do it. You got it down inside of you. You just need to pull it up. You need to dig down in there and find it. And I know you can. I know you can. So I'm going to leave you with that. Hope that you found this interesting, just to see kind of what I'm going through the next several weeks. And like I said, the next nutritionist visit will be two months, so I won't have anything new to tell you. Well, you know what? I will have something new to tell you, because when I start eating food, I will come and show you what I eat. A couple days of that, a few days of that. You've seen what I eat on liquid diet. It's just the same thing day after day, just maybe a different flavor or something of that nature. So I'm not going to show you any more of those, what I eat in the days, but I will when I change to the pureed. I'll show you what I eat. And then you can shed a tear for me. Don't shed no tears for me. I'm going to shed tears of happiness when I get some kind of food in my mouth. I don't care if it is like baby food. It's food. So that is all for me today. And I will see you. I don't really know, but I'll see you.